Hello and welcome to the first podcast episode from the Happy Hour, and we are joined today. It is Nina and Zosha hosting, and we are joined today with our special guest Rebecca.
Hi.
Hi Rebecca, thanks for joining us.
We are going to be talking about going out sober and why it doesn't have to be a bad thing. In fact, it can be a very fun thing. And we're going to be asking Rebecca some questions because she, I believe, has some experience in going out sober.
I would say a bit too experienced going out sober.
So do you want to kick things off, Nina, with a question?
Yeah, let's go. So what does a typical sober night out look for you? So like prees, clubbing, like where do you go? Where do you find is the best places to go sober?
So prees often will start at my flat because we like to host.
Yeah.
So for that, it's just pretty much the same as everyone else, except rather than alcohol, I'll just drink water, or also I often have Red Bulls or Monsters because you know you need the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all pretty normal. I'll go then out. We probably go to a bar first. Again, same thing as everyone else, but just drinking soft drinks instead of alcohol. And then I do like clubbing as well. I actually prefer clubbing to going to bars.
Nice.
Because I really like music. And so I find that the clubs that are less busy tend to be better, because something that is a lot harder to tolerate when you're sober is people bumping into you all the time.
Yeah.
But so just it's pretty much exactly the same as everyone else, but just substituting the alcohol with maybe an energy drink or two, and just doing a couple extra things to not get too overwhelmed when it's super busy.
Do you usually go out sober? Like, do you not drink at all, or like is it just kind of like something that you started doing? Like, how did you sort of get into that?
So I've actually never had a drink before, like at all.
Okay.
It's just something I never really started, and so then I never got into it.
Yeah.
And then when I got to uni, I decided I was going to stay not drinking, but I didn't want that to stop me from experiencing sort of the uni culture. So I just made sure that I was still going out, and it was harder when I first started. But now I genuinely think that I have a bit more from it.
Yeah.
From going out sober, because my friends, it's the next morning. I think that I'm so glad that I don't have to suffer from.
Yeah. What is the benefits, do you feel, of still going out but not drinking? Like, what do you feel like the next day? What do you think are the benefits of it?
Yeah, number one has got to be the lack of hangover. I think, it's a little bit hit or miss. People will go out and sometimes they won't have too bad of a hangover, but normally they always feel something. For me, I'll definitely be tired the next day, but that's sort of it. I was out last night, in fact, and I feel fine. I'd say the other big benefit is definitely the money as well. It's so expensive, especially in Edinburgh, to be drinking regularly, like multiple times a week. So yeah, substituting that for a couple of energy drinks is pretty nice on the finances.
Yeah.
And what do you like? Do you ever try mocktails when you go out? What's your experience in that? Do you feel like there's a good enough range, or do you just stick to your like energy drinks?
I definitely do like the ideas of mocktails. I think it's quite fun, especially to have something that, people can drink, especially if you're going out specifically for drinks. So I've tried some. There's a lot of bars that do really nice mocktails in Edinburgh as well. But I think if I'm just going out like on a regular night out, I won't, because it is just juice. It's just very expensive juice otherwise. But no, it's definitely fun in the right sort of time.
Yeah.
How do you find, because from personal experience going out sober, you do tend to be like, oh, I might just go home a bit earlier. Like, how do you keep up your energy on the night out?
I think one of the biggest things is when you're not drinking, it gets a bit boring, just sort of, repetitively dancing and, especially because the conversation tends to die a little bit, the drink that people get. So the solution to that is just to cause things to be interesting, right? So talk to new people, encourage your friends to do silly things, obviously not to their own detriment, but making sure that it just stays fun, play some games. Societies are really good for that as well, because they often will have their own games sort of embedded into it. That's why socials are so much fun, especially as a sober person.
Amazing. Do you have any advice that you would give to someone who's looking to try going out sober but maybe is a bit nervous or hasn't really had much experience in that?
Yeah, I'd say, first of all, is definitely give it a go. I think you don't lose anything from trying. But the other big thing is earplugs.
Yeah.
I've got some earplugs and I wear them. It's only really in clubs, but
Yeah.
I think people don't realise how loud clubs are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And popping those in, often I won't forget because I'm so used to doing it, but I'll go in without them and I'll be like, oh, it's fine. And then once I've put them in though, I realise the difference so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
think, do you know what, actually, yeah, it makes such a difference and you feel a lot less overwhelmed, I think.
Nice.
Mhm. Do you ever feel any sort of, or have experienced at all, like any sort of peer pressure or like questions about not drinking, or like peer pressured or felt peer pressure to drink on those nights out?
People definitely question it and people find it, I think a lot of people don't like it because it makes them maybe feel a bit bad that they are drinking.
Yeah.
So I just sort of try and make sure that I say it in the most like chilled way. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't drink. I'm also lucky that my friends are very much like quite protective about it. So if anyone ever says anything, against it, my friends are quite quick to jump in. And I think also it makes a difference to people when they realise that all of my friends that I'm out with are all drinkers.
Yeah.
And they just sort of forget about it.
Yeah.
And
I guess maybe like a last question to round everything off. What's your favourite thing about going out sober, or what's your best memory of going out
Yes.
sober?
I mean, maybe that question answers itself in that I think my favourite thing going out sober is that I can remember it all. And when sort of really funny things happen, or even really nice moments, because drunk people can be quite sweet sometimes. I think like I've remembered everything from every night out, and in the next morning I'll sit down with my flatmates and I'm like, oh yeah, you did this really funny thing.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
the
it.
the morning debrief.
Yeah.
Love it.
Equally, maybe like the best
Oh,
part.
it's the
of
best
a night
part.
out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's the pre's and the morning debrief. That's
Oh,
yeah.
the whole reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for coming on. I know you've written an article for the Tab about your experiences on going out sober. So if you want to hear a bit more, you can head over there. Head over to the happy hour as well if you want to find some more alternatives to going out and what you can have. But yeah, thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Great,
Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
having me.